Guys, bye George here. Today I'm going to show you my loadout for this trip, this Israel trip. First thing I got is my backpack, Pathway 70 liter. It was very durable. It was awesome to use. Excellent. I got a side pocket on one side. I got a side pocket on the other here. But also, I have this pocket here where I can store my electronic gear. And the electronics that I store is my solar panel and my peripherals for the solar panel. Very, very, very handy. One really impressive piece of gear that I found was my Eureka Midori 2. It has a door on each side. This is the newer model, not the older model. Has a door on each side. It has like a rubberized bathtub bottom. And it covers really nicely. Now, it worked well. I was in a flood area, and I got water underneath, but it did not penetrate, so I kept very dry. It was awesome. The only thing I don't like is with the bottoms. Yeah, with the bottoms, when they come out, okay, when the bottoms come out, there's space underneath where an animal can put its nose to try and sniff into your tent. So I prefer to push that up at night, put that right up against the tent, and then I don't have a problem. This tent weighs a little bit over 4 pounds. 4 pounds 13 ounces, something like that. And in a windy situation, like we're in a breezy area right here, it's best to stake it down. Okay, the next piece of equipment I would like to show is my woods. This is a mummy style sleeping bag, and it goes to 0 degrees. It's best to bring a -3, but I couldn't find one. And I do shiver a little bit at night, but when I cuddle up in here, I'm perfectly warm. But 0 degrees is what I have. Very lightweight. Now, what is it here? It's down filled. So when you lay in it, you flatten out the bottom, and you could get a chill from the ground because you're not protected from the ground. It's best to use a ground mat. I don't have one. I didn't bring one. According to this, it weighs 250 grams. Oh, with the insulation, 330. Oh, total weight, 2 pounds, 14 ounces. Okay, next up is my Camelback water carrier for inside the backpack. What I would recommend if you use one of these is make sure when you close the top, this is nice too, you can carry it, pour it, no problem. Use bottled water, whatever. But when you fill it, make sure to close the lid good so it doesn't leak into your backpack. I missed that once, and I lost about 1.5 liters of water before I realized I was losing water. Now, this quick connect in the middle here, let's see if we can bring it closer to the camera, I bought separately at Sale in Burlington, Ontario. And Sale is a very large outdoor store. It's got 2 levels in it. But this is a quick connect. I'm sure you can get it at any outdoor store if you order it, if they don't have it or whatever. But I can disconnect this and reconnect it. Now this is my mouthpiece. The reason I want to do that is because I can hook up my water purification system to this without removing it from the backpack, and I can fill it or put as much as I can into it, and then just put this on and I'm all closed and ready to go. I don't have to take it out of my backpack or remove anything from my backpack. Everything worked good. So far it's functioned great on this trip. Yeah, that's a 4 liter Camelback is what I'm using. I never fill it. I get about 2 liters, 2.5 liters. That's about all I get into it to drink. So. Okay, now we're going to get into stoves for a second. In the area that I'm in, you can have fires at a designated fire pit. Now the 2 stoves that I brought with me are my Go Sun Go and Solo stove. This is the stove, this is the pot that goes around the stove. So these 2 come as one when you buy them. But I found the pot very useful for boiling water and whatnot, for cooking, whatever. I had some different uses for it, like gathering berries. The stove I had no use for. The reason is because I didn't have to boil water, I just had to heat it up. And the Go Sun Go was fine for that. When I went through security at the airport, when they put this through the scanner, it broke something inside. Now, this is electronic. This has probably a lithium battery in it, I don't know. But the sun doesn't actually heat up the tube that's in here. I'll show you the tube. There's a tube inside. The sun doesn't actually heat that up. That reflective surface, or that dark surface on the glass, is actually a solar panel. And there's 2 little leads at the bottom that direct the power or the current into a heater at the bottom. And that's what heats the inside of the tube. Now, where I am, when it's sunny, it's hot sunny. Like I'm talking a hot sun. And I have no problem getting water hot so that I can make my food with the Go Sun Go, even when it's broken. Now if it wasn't broken, it'd take me a lot less time. Like it's taking me about an hour or so to heat up water. Not to boil it, I can't bring it to a boil, but I can heat it up very well. I can make coffee, tea, I can put it into packaged things such as noodles, oatmeal, make oatmeal. It works great. So without a fire, as long as I was able to heat water, I didn't need a fire. So that's my stove recommendation for an area that's very sunny. If you have a lot of rain and a lot of coolness, I would suggest bringing the Solo stove and having a fire. Another item that's very seriously important, no matter where you go, is water purification. Here in Israel there are tap areas, and they're supposed to be great drinking water. They're supposed to be fine to drink, but I still don't trust it. I'm 10,000 miles away from home, 6,000 miles, 10,000 kilometers, but I still don't, it's clean, but I'm still using my water filter, and it's keeping me from being sick. I've actually been very well, and I'm into my 2nd week. Today is Sunday. So, I'll go over and show you what I have here. I have the Platypus 4 liter system. I got a bag for dirty water. It says dirty right on it. It's got a Ziploc here so you can scoop your water. And this here has a valve in it, so it doesn't open until you put the hose on, which is good because then you don't have water leaking everywhere. So you do this up, okay, hang it to a tree. It's got clips. Just put it around the trunk or around the whatever limb you want to put it on. Clip it closed, and the water will hang there, the dirty water. Now, we also have a clean bag. It's labeled clean. We don't want to get the 2 mixed up. You don't want to use the dirty water bag for your clean water after you've used it for dirty water, that is for sure. So it comes with a cap, so you can cap it. You can carry extra water with you if you can afford the weight, the extra weight. I haven't been able to. I just put it in my camelback and go, but then I grab water along the way whenever I find a puddle or something. Alright. Now, it comes with a number of things. Now, I showed you the camelback. Now, okay, here we are. This is the hose that goes to the dirty bag. Okay. Now, you see the flow here. You go from the dirty bag to the filter. This is just a small filter. It's replaceable, but it's also reusable. You can back flush it, which I like. And I back flushed it several times just to make sure there was no junk in it. And how you do that is you go the opposite way and you drain the clean water back through to the dirty water bag. And you'll watch the dirty water turn clean. When it does, stop it, and you got all the junk out. Well, not quite all the junk, but every time pretty much that I'm using it, I back flush it. Now the second thing that did not come in the kit, but I bought it separate at sale because I couldn't find it at Bass Pro. I could probably have ordered it. Is the Gravity Works carbon filter. Carbon filter gives you good flavor. Now it also has an arrow on the side which points in the direction of the water flow. So you got the arrow, and you got the arrow. So this would connect on the clean side, okay? And this is where I like to put my on-off switch. Closed, open. Very easy with one hand. Put that on there. Now I go down the hose. Okay, now I got this piece. This can screw onto the clean bag. And you've seen me in my videos using it, so I'm sure you are familiar with the direction of flow. Okay. I also got this piece. Now, this piece came with my adapter piece that I put on my camelback, but I haven't gotten a use for it yet. I think eventually what I'm going to do is cut a piece of this softer rubber, because this is very hard rubber. Cut a piece of the softer rubber off so that I can put this on another piece, and then I can just use it that way. This is too hard for me to use. So, okay, the next item I'd like to touch on is my cook kit. Now, everything you bring, you got to realize you got to carry on your back. So I'm trying to go as small and light as I can. I got this cook kit. If you buy aluminum, it could give you lead poisoning. So you got to be careful when cooking with aluminum. Stainless steel is what I got, and in it gives me a plate, which I used once. Gives me a pot to boil water, which I haven't needed because I got my Go Sun Go with me. A pan to fry eggs, but I haven't had eggs. And a cup. This here, I have my coffee in. I have my coffee, tea. So it all works good. So that's my cook kit. And remember, I use stainless. This kit is very small. And it's very backpackable. Very simple. Old style. Still works. Now, I got this from Heavy Cover Canteen. This is a spork. You got a fork, you got a spoon. And yeah, there's no knife, so if you gotta butter something, you can use the bottom end of the spoon there to butter it. The other thing that I brought, which I found was very useful, because on the trail you can't get coffee, but you don't want to drink just water all the time. You want to drink tea. And if you know the vegetation around you, dandelion leaves, in my case olive trees, whatever. One of these. Now, you break up the leaf into little pieces, you stick it inside, you close it, and then you use that in your cup and you stir it around the hot water. Makes wonderful, wonderful tea. Okay, next stop for this trip, I'm going to talk about clothing. T-shirt, I got pants, very lightweight pants, but good rugged pants. They're ripstop material. I got rubber shoes with holes in so that I can wear them around camp and wherever to help my feet stay dry, because wet feet, you're going to end up with trench foot or some other problematic disease with the feet. We don't want that. The second thing I brought is a hat. It's always necessary, but when it's really, really hot out, I mean, sunny is one thing, but when it's really hot, even this is too much. It's just like a heavy cotton and it just holds the heat onto the head. So in that case, I bring one of these. This here, I don't even know what you call it. It's just a tube, and I'll take my glasses off and I'll demonstrate. If I put my hand here, okay, pull it through, right? Like this. Pull it down. There. I got myself somewhat of a hat. If I'm in a dust storm, right? Dust storm. Oh yes. Put it all the way down. Bring this part up over the head, like so, right? Tuck the hair up. Take the bottom of this. Put it like that. Dust storm. It's like a dust mask. It's perfect. It's so simple. It's just a tube. It's just a tube of material. Okay, so that's my hats. Now let's get to the rest here. I got a bag. This is a compression sack. This makes everything small so that I can carry it along with me. I got my warm sweater, need it at night. I wear it every night. This one here, it's expensive, from the North Face, but it's extremely warm and comfortable. It's like I won't leave home without this sweater anymore. It's awesome. Now the other thing I brought was a lightweight jacket. Very lightweight to go over the sweater or to use by itself. There's a hood in case it rains, and the hood gets tucked back in to the jacket if you don't want to use it. And it's got Velcro. There. Now there's no hood. And that works really, really, really well. Nice lightweight jacket. Okay, the next piece of gear that I brought. Very important. Towel. You wash your hair because that's where most of the stink is. You gotta dry your hair. Here's the towel. I got a good towel because I like a little bit of comfort. I can't do it with a face cloth. Now, I got a rain jacket. Hasn't really come in handy for me yet, but it could if it rained for a long time, because this here is waterproof. And so if it rained for a couple days, I might need to use something like this. Very, very lightweight again. I got a face cloth. Haven't used it yet, but I will. Wow, a lot of ambulances going through. There's a couple every day, believe me. Okay, I got a pair of shorts to match my outfit. I used them once. They're nice when it's very hot out. I got an extra pair of underwear and an extra pair of socks. so I can wash one while I'm wearing the other. I also got an extra shirt, so I can wash one while I wear the other. I also oh, where are we here? There we are. Pair of pants on the line. There's my extra pair of socks. And I brought one of those cords, I forget, paracord. I got a 50-foot thing of paracord with me, so I can use it as a clothesline, I can use it to tie things up, to secure things, whatever I need. And that does my clothing. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show everybody is my kit for keeping clean. A mirror. It can also be used as a signal mirror if you ever needed it. A comb. A bar of soap. You wash your clothes, you wash your hair, you wash your body. Everything with this soap, so keep it clean. Now I got a shaver, but I think it's better not shaving at all on the trip. This just didn't work out for me, kept breaking. Toenail clipper, definitely a must. And last but not least, toothpaste. I got an 18 milliliter, it was perfectly fine for the airplane. And toothbrush that folds away. Very nice. It all worked great for me. Now, a couple other things that work pretty good for me is a footprint that I got. That goes underneath the tent and it protects the bottom of the tent. On the Eureka tent that I have, the bottom, you don't want it to break because it's not replaceable. So you want to protect that. It's a good idea to have yourself a footprint. The next thing I need is a pack cover. In case it's raining while I'm hiking, this pack cover is large, does 70 to 95 liter packs. So this will do my pack no problem. Now, when I'm on the airplane, okay, I can't just bring my pack. I have to bring it in something. And for that, I use the Airporter Medium. And that's from Osprey. Airporter Medium. And this covers my bag perfectly. My bag fits inside, closes up, goes on the plane, no problem. Unfortunately, those are extra pieces of gear that in a normal situation I wouldn't have to use, just that I was going to go on an airplane, so I needed them. Now, another very important thing was my energy requirements. Now, I'm using a video camera, so I had to plug the camera into something to charge every once in a while because it does die. So, what I have is my Anchor PowerPort solar battery charger. This has worked wonders for me. I've been charging everything with it, including the charger itself. Now, some of the things that I brought with me here to Israel was this UV pen light. It's for finding scorpions. I'm not in a scorpion infested area. I'd have to go closer to the desert for that, so this was a waste of time for me on this trip. The second thing that I found came in very handy was my Olight flashlight. It's a headlamp, and I used it for my night hike in the one nights there when I had to hike through the night, and it brought me out safely. It was really, really wonderful. But this also connects to the solar charger, so I was very happy with that. That worked out well for me. Now, the next thing was all these things have internal batteries, and you plug them in, you can plug them into the solar charger, except for the GPS. I could not find one that plugged into a solar charger. I could only find one that took AA batteries. This is the eTrex 22X Garmin. I had to purchase special maps for this area, actually one map for this area, and I did all of the trail routing on my computer at home, and then I transferred it over to the Garmin to be used on this trip. And I use this more than anything. Now the AA batteries that I'm using, these are AA batteries, everyone knows that. I use a charging dock. So I had to bring my charging dock. AA batteries go into the charging dock and you charge them up with the solar panel. They charge up from the end here. Now, when you charge up the AA's, one thing I found was if you leave the AA's in the dock, they will die. Okay? And I don't want my batteries to die, so as soon as they're fully charged, the light goes from red to green. There's a light for every two. The light goes red to green, I take the batteries out right away, and they're charged. They're ready to go. Now, talking about navigation. Alright? I got the Israel National Trail book. It's the only book in English. And it was a little expensive, but for this trip, I don't think I would have been able to be here without it. Inside the book are complete maps of your areas. My areas that I was traveling were 21, 22, and map 23. And these are very, very good maps. I brought my Silver Ranger compass. I've had to use it twice to make sure I was in the right direction because the GPS did malfunction a couple times, not very significantly, but enough that I had to shut it off and start it back up again. And especially around the airport, it just didn't work. I don't know why, maybe they got a blocker or something around the airport, I don't know. But I couldn't get away from the airport, I just kept circling the airport when I first came out. So, the Silver Ranger compass works good with the trail book. But almost the entire time I used my Garmin, and you get over 20 hours of walking time with the Garmin. I got 2 days no problem, and then I had to change batteries. But yeah, no, it worked very well. So I had 3 sets of batteries for this at all times, 1 in here and 2 in the charger, which I took them out as they were charged, so they were single in my pack. That's about it on my electronics and my navigation part of it. Okay, I just remembered, I didn't want to forget this. I brought a 15,000 milliamp battery bank. It's got 2 charging ports on the end and a centerpiece that you could charge from the solar panel because it doesn't charge on its own very well. Now, the reason I suggest a battery bank is so that you can charge bigger items such as the camera. You charge the battery bank with the solar panel, charge the camera, or you charge other items with the battery bank. It works wonderful. If you have limited sun, charge the battery bank. Make sure it's fully charged, and then when you have no sun, you can be charging your other items with the bank. This and the PowerPort Solar from Anchor go well together. This is a 15,000 milliamp. If you can get a 30,000 milliamp or 50,000 milliamp, yeah, get something bigger. The bigger the better, but not so much bigger in size because you still got to carry it, right? Okay, not including the carry-on for the plane, because all I have in the carry-on is a couple books and my passport, my boarding information, everything for my plane ticket. It's all in my carry-on bag. So that's separate from what I just showed you. But this stuff here is the last items in my bag. I have a Gerber multi-tool. It's got a pair of pliers. It's got scissors. It's got 2 knives. A couple different features on it. I haven't used any, except I tried to use I used the knife once. Yeah, I used the knife once. And I also used the scissors. There's the scissors on here. Okay. What these are handy for is the prickly pear cactus. This is the reason I brought it. Because I can pull the needles off, I can use the knife, and I can cut the pieces out so that I can actually eat the prickly pear cactus. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to do that, and now I'm out of the prickly pear cactus area. I'm into the big trees area, like pine and stuff now. But this is one of the items that I took with me. Never got to use it, but I could have, I guess, if I took the time. It's just a long journey. I didn't want to not make it. You really have to move on the trails in order to get to the other end. Okay, the other thing I did was I brought my bushcrafting knife. I didn't show anybody this knife yet. You're going to really like this. Okay. This was made by Ben Aikens Knives. And you can find Ben Aikens on Facebook. You could probably even find him on YouTube. But this is the knife he made me. It's got maple handle. This is a special type of steel. It doesn't rust, but it gets what they call a patine on it. So you got to keep it clean, keep it dry, but it'll gain a patine, and that patine will protect it like stainless steel. So you never have to worry. That's my bushcrafting knife. I use that to cut my wood and to yeah, you know. Anyways, then I went to Niagara Leatherworks, and there's a girl that owns that, and she made me a sheath. Okay, exactly the way I wanted it. It's got a dangler, it's got a second belt holder piece on here. Okay, let's get closer to the camera. This front piece opens up, and that's where your sharpener goes to sharpen your knife. On the side here, this here is my my striker to make my fires. Now, when I went to this girl, I wanted this for the Lansky. This is the Lansky sharpener. So she made it so that it fits. There we go, perfectly. See, there's the Lansky sharpener goes in there. This goes in, connects up. Now you got the whole thing. You got the fire starter, the fire steel, you got the sharpener, and the knife, bushcrafting knife. All completely handmade. Separate individuals. I didn't make it, but I did specialize in what I wanted. And this is what I ended up with. This is my knife. My By George Bushcraft knife. Yeah, you can see there, By George Bushcraft. And the woman that does the leather at Niagara Leatherworks is Rosie Treber. So give her a big hand for making this sheath. This is the nicest sheath I've ever seen. I've never seen a sheath this nice. No. Okay. The last thing is, I wanted a backup in case I couldn't use the fire starter, in case I couldn't use the fire steel. So I did bring a Bic lighter. And that is my complete everything. Well, I hope you liked this part where I discussed all the items that I brought on my trip. I gotta still carry all this out of here. But I'm hoping I could stay here for a little bit and kind of get my feet back, kind of get myself relaxed a little bit. It's still my vacation. And then right across the street there's a gas station, and I'll see if you can call a taxi. And about 40 miles up the road, there's the airport. Friday is when I'm gonna go. Saturday is when I'm gonna come home. Anyways, thanks for watching. And if you've liked this program, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I would love to have you on board. See you later. Bye, George. Out.